In Jewish law, there are two types of obligations. We have bein adam l'makim and bein adam l'chaveroi. Bein adam l'makim means between the person and the omnipresent, which means God. Bein adam l'chaveroi means between the person and his fellow or his friend, which means interpersonal relationships. So like something that's between you and God. I don't know, worshiping idols, like the worst possible sin in the world, but who does it hurt other than yourself? Right? It's just between you and God. But then, like, let's talk about don't murder, that affects somebody else. The guy you murdered, his family, society as a whole, right? Don't steal, don't lie. All that stuff that governs interpersonal relationships. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that Yom Kippur is a time for asking each other forgiveness. I think a lot of people are familiar with this, even people who are not so well versed in Jewish law, I think are familiar with the theme of calling and asking for forgiveness between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. So here's the thing. God forgives everything, but if you have something that belongs to someone else, how can God forgive you? And God can forgive anything, even idol worship, which again is like the worst sin. And God can forgive that. But if you took something that belongs to somebody else and you're going to go to God and say, can we work out a payment plan? God's going to say, go to that guy, pay him. Now, there are payment plans and there are payment plans. If you stole from somebody, that's pretty easy to work out a payment plan. You got to pay them back the money or whatever it is you stole. But then there are other infractions where you didn't take someone's money. Maybe you took their peace of mind. That's a much harder payment plan to figure out. How do you pay back their peace of mind? Maybe you traumatized them. Maybe you took away their sense of security. Maybe you took away their dignity. Maybe you said hurtful words that took away their self-esteem. And how do you pay that back? Maybe you were living in a self-indulgent, irresponsible way that forced them to be worried all the time. You took away their ability to live a productive life. And you're going to say, well, they should just go to Al-Anon and they'll figure that out even if I continue being a wacko. Well, you're right, but that's their inventory, not yours. So do your own inventory. Don't take someone else's inventory. The point is that, imagine if you did act in an irresponsible way that caused somebody else a lot of heartache and a lot of sleepless nights. How do you pay that back? Again, you stole somebody's money, stole $1,000, you can pay $1,000. But what do you do when you took things that are a little bit less tangible? There's the concept of amends. And amends doesn't just mean giving back what you took, but it means making it right. It means appeasement. That's what we call to be Matthias. Matthias means to appease. So I got to go to you and I got to ask you, how can I be Matthias you? How can I appease you? What do I got to do? What do I do to make you feel okay about this again? And until I've done that, or at least attempted that, I have no business going to God and asking for forgiveness. So it is very, very important that during this time of year that if you have any outstanding eighth step list items, let's just clear that up and let's go to people and say to them, how can I make it right? What would I have to do to give you back whatever it is that I took from you? And sometimes, a lot of times, all people need is an apology. They just need to see that you're not gaslighting them anymore. You're ready to say, you know what? Yeah, me and you have the same version of reality. I'm not going to lie to you anymore. That's what happened. You're right. That's what I did. And that was wrong. And I'm trying not to be that kind of person anymore. And it's very important to me that I don't let that come between me and God. And I think you can even be transparent with somebody and say, listen, I'm doing this out of a sense of duty. I don't even think I'm such a noble person. I'm not seeking you out to make amends because I think I'm so virtuous. I have no choice. I've come to a point where I realize that I cannot live a selfish life. The only way I can live is to do, or to try to do as much as possible, what God wants for me. And I can't live a life that's aligned with God's will while I have old debt. So how do I pay up the old debt? What can I do to make it right for you? A lot of times, I mean, don't rely on this, but a lot of times, just somebody hearing your honesty and the fact that you're just confirming for them what they always kind of knew was true, that itself is a relief. And they'll say to you, you know what? You did it already. What you needed to do, you did. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that I didn't make this whole thing up in my mind. Thank you for confirming that you were kind of rotten to me. That's it. You know what? I'm great. I'm great. You know, and I'm happy for you. It looks like you're doing a lot better than when we used to hang out. It looks like you're onto something. I don't know what got into you, but it looks like it's pretty healthy. So just keep that up, and that's all I need from you. That's a lot of cases. That's what'll happen.